Lisa received a therapy recommendation from her messaging app after venting to her sister about relationship problems. She had never searched for therapy or mentioned needing help publicly. The algorithm had analyzed the emotional patterns in her private texts and detected signs of distress that even she hadn't fully recognized. Right now, artificial intelligence systems are processing billions of private messages, analyzing not just what people write, but how they write it, when they send messages, and what emotional patterns emerge from their most intimate digital conversations. What started as simple text processing for spam detection has evolved into sophisticated psychological analysis of human communication. The implications go far beyond targeted advertising. If AI systems can decode emotional states, relationship dynamics, mental health conditions, and personal vulnerabilities from private messages, we're entering an era of unprecedented intimacy between humans and algorithmic systems, intimacy that may be entirely one-sided. Today we're exploring what happens when artificial intelligence becomes the silent third party in every private conversation, capable of understanding subtext, predicting relationship outcomes, and potentially knowing us better through our messages than we know ourselves. Before we begin, we're examining current text analysis capabilities and extending them into speculative scenarios using what-if framing when entering unverified territory. This content explores potential privacy implications for educational purposes. It's not intended to create paranoia about messaging platforms or discourage digital communication. For concerns about privacy or mental health, consult qualified professionals. Every major messaging platform already employs AI systems that process message content for various purposes: spam detection, content moderation, translation services, and advertising optimization. But the technology exists to analyze far more than just basic content classification. Current natural language processing can identify emotional states, relationship satisfaction levels, personality traits, and mental health indicators from text patterns. Research shows AI systems can detect depression from messaging patterns with accuracy comparable to clinical assessments, often identifying concerning patterns before users or their contacts recognize them. If this exploration into AI message analysis is revealing capabilities you hadn't considered, hit that like button. It helps YouTube understand that content examining digital privacy and AI analysis deserves wider reach. And if you're curious about how AI systems interpret human communication, subscribe to Future Paradox. We're investigating the hidden ways technology reads between the lines of our digital lives. What if messaging platforms could analyze not just individual messages, but conversation dynamics over time? AI systems could potentially map relationship patterns, identify communication styles that predict conflict or breakups, and detect subtle changes in language that indicate major life transitions before they're explicitly discussed. The technology already exists to analyze typing patterns, response times, message length variations, and emoji usage to build psychological profiles. What if these behavioral signatures could reveal personality disorders, cognitive changes, or emotional manipulation patterns that neither conversation participant consciously recognizes? Consider what happens when AI systems process group conversations. What if algorithms could identify social hierarchies, detect deception or hidden agendas, and map complex interpersonal dynamics across friend groups, families, or professional relationships based solely on messaging patterns? Real-time analysis capabilities mean AI systems could potentially intervene in conversations as they happen. What if messaging platforms began suggesting responses designed to de-escalate conflicts, manipulate emotional outcomes, or guide conversations toward specific psychological or commercial objectives? The data retention aspect creates even more concerning possibilities. What if AI systems could analyze years of private message history to create comprehensive psychological profiles, track personal growth or decline, and predict future behavior patterns with unprecedented accuracy? What if AI systems became sophisticated enough to perform emotional archaeology on private messages, analyzing past conversations to identify patterns, triggers, and psychological developments that users themselves have forgotten or never consciously recognized? The technology could potentially track how people's communication styles change during different life phases, mental health episodes, or relationship stages. What if algorithms could identify the exact linguistic markers that precede major life decisions, emotional breakdowns, or significant behavioral changes? Consider the implications for relationship analysis. What if AI systems could predict relationship success or failure based on early messaging patterns, identifying couples likely to break up months before any obvious signs of trouble emerge in their conversations? What if these systems could detect emotional manipulation, gaslighting, or psychological abuse patterns in private conversations? While this could potentially help victims, it also raises questions about algorithmic intervention in complex human relationships and the privacy implications of such deep behavioral analysis. The technology might become capable of identifying mental health conditions from subtle language changes that precede clinical symptoms. What if AI systems could detect early signs of depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, or other conditions from private message analysis before individuals seek professional help? What if AI could analyze family communication patterns to predict childhood development outcomes, identify dysfunctional relationship dynamics, or detect signs of domestic problems that family members haven't explicitly acknowledged? The temporal analysis capabilities could extend to predicting future communication needs. What if AI systems could anticipate when people are likely to need emotional support, professional guidance, or social intervention based on patterns detected in their private messaging history? What if widespread knowledge of AI message analysis began to fundamentally alter how people communicate privately? If users know algorithms are reading their messages, authentic emotional expression might become impossible in digital spaces. Consider the psychological impact of self-censorship in private conversations. What if people began modifying their natural communication styles to avoid algorithmic detection of sensitive topics, mental health struggles, or relationship problems, effectively losing the therapeutic value of intimate digital communication? What if AI analysis capabilities became so sophisticated that they could detect attempts at deception or concealment, creating pressure for complete transparency in digital communication? The knowledge that hiding thoughts from AI systems is impossible might fundamentally change human psychological development. The authenticity crisis extends to relationships themselves. What if people began choosing communication strategies based on how algorithms might interpret them rather than genuine emotional needs? Relationships could become performative, optimized for algorithmic approval rather than human connection. What if AI systems became capable of generating suggested responses that are more emotionally effective than people's natural communication styles? Users might become dependent on algorithmic assistance for intimate conversations, potentially losing the ability to navigate complex emotional exchanges independently. Consider the implications for personal growth and self-reflection. What if AI analysis of private messages became so accurate that people preferred algorithmic insights about their relationships and mental states over personal introspection or professional counseling? What if the emotional intelligence gathered from private message analysis became a commercial commodity? The most intimate details of human relationships could become valuable data for advertising, product development, and behavioral manipulation on an unprecedented scale. Consider how this information could be used for targeted manipulation. What if companies could identify the exact emotional vulnerabilities, relationship insecurities, and personal fears that would make individuals most susceptible to specific products, services, or political messaging? What if AI analysis of private messages could predict major life events, marriages, divorces, career changes, health crises, enabling companies to target individuals with relevant products at precisely the moments when they're most likely to make significant purchases? The technology could potentially identify influence opportunities within social networks. What if AI systems could determine which individuals in a friend group or family are most likely to influence others' decisions, enabling targeted marketing through social relationship manipulation? What if private message analysis could reveal information about people who don't even use the platforms directly? AI systems might be able to build psychological profiles of non-users based on how others discuss them in private conversations, extending surveillance capabilities to those who actively avoid digital platforms. What if AI systems reading private messages began taking action based on their analysis? The potential for both helpful and harmful algorithmic intervention in human relationships creates complex ethical dilemmas about the role of AI in intimate human affairs. Consider suicide prevention capabilities. What if AI systems could identify individuals at risk based on private message analysis and automatically alert authorities or mental health services? While potentially life-saving, such systems would represent unprecedented invasion of private psychological space. What if algorithms detected signs of domestic violence, child abuse, or other harmful situations in private conversations? The ability to identify and potentially prevent serious harm might justify privacy violations, but it also creates surveillance systems that could be misused or manipulated. The intervention capabilities might extend to relationship counseling. What if AI systems began providing automated advice or therapeutic responses based on analysis of private conversations? Users might receive algorithmic relationship guidance more frequently and immediately than human professional support. What if AI systems became capable of predicting and preventing conflicts before they escalate by analyzing communication patterns and suggesting alternative messaging strategies? While potentially helpful, such intervention would fundamentally alter the nature of human conflict resolution and emotional processing. Consider the legal implications. What if private message analysis could provide evidence of intent, emotional states, or relationship dynamics in legal proceedings? The privacy of intimate communication could disappear entirely if algorithmic analysis became admissible in courts. The question isn't whether AI systems can analyze private messages. Many of these capabilities already exist. The question is what happens to human intimacy, authenticity, and psychological development when our most private communications become data for algorithmic analysis and potential intervention. We might be approaching a fundamental transformation in human communication where the assumption of privacy in intimate conversations disappears entirely. What emerges in its place, enhanced safety and support, or unprecedented surveillance and manipulation, will depend on how these technologies are developed and regulated. Perhaps the most concerning aspect is that this transformation is happening gradually and invisibly. People continue using messaging platforms without fully understanding how their private communications are being analyzed, processed, and potentially acted upon by AI systems they never explicitly consented to interact with. What do you think? Have you changed how you communicate privately since learning about AI analysis capabilities? And here's what I really want to know. Do you still express your authentic emotions and thoughts in digital messages? Or do you find yourself self-censoring because you know algorithms might be watching? Share your honest experience in the comments. This affects how all of us navigate intimacy in the digital age. If this made you reconsider the privacy of your digital communications, subscribe for more investigations into how AI systems interact with human psychology in ways we rarely notice. And hit that like button if you believe understanding these privacy implications is crucial for maintaining authentic human relationships. Until next time, remember, your messages may be more public than you think. What we explored today examines real text analysis capabilities, but uses speculative what-if scenarios for unverified possibilities. This content encourages reflection on digital privacy and communication authenticity, not paranoia about messaging platforms. For concerns about privacy, mental health, or relationship issues, consult qualified professionals.